Hello, this is my Book of Mormon project. I built 3 scenes in the Book of Mormon, starting with the Tree of Life. Here in the Tree of Life, as you can see, following the iron bar right now, I created a custom texture pack to make the iron rod look a little bit more like a rod instead of jail bars. So we get to the end, and here's the Tree of Life. You might be wondering why there's water coming out of it. In the Book of Mormon, it also refers to the Tree of Life as the fountain of living water, so I had it also be a fountain. Here is the great and spacious building. As you can notice, there is, as it's talked about in the Book of Mormon, there is no foundation. It's said to be floating high above the earth. I couldn't make it too high, so I made a big hole in the ground. But yeah, so this is my attempt to create the great and spacious building. As many may be wondering, how did I build this so fast? There's a mod in Minecraft called World Edit where you can copy and paste a bunch of things. So I created portions and then copied and pasted a lot of times. As you can see, there's a lot of similar looking parts to this building. And down there you might be able to see real quick, the river looks very filthy. I changed the biome to make it swamp instead, so the water is filthy. The next scene that we're going to is the Pillar of Fire, talked about in 1 Nephi. So here we have Lehi and his mighty steed. There's not a whole lot to say about this scene, and it's pretty simple. Next up, we're going to King Benjamin's speech. We'll start out in a tent here. And as you can see, there's the tower, and behind the tower there's the temple. I based the temple off of King Solomon's temple, as Nephi talks about how they recreated that. It's possible it could have been an Aztec looking temple, but I figure that since they were following the law of Moses at this time, they would have likely had a version of the King Solomon's temple, as it had lots of things to do with the law of Moses. It is not built with fancy materials. You don't see any gold or anything here. As Nephi said, that they recreated the temple, but instead they used materials that weren't so fancy or pricey. So yeah, there's the temple, and you might notice there's not a whole lot of tents. There would be thousands and thousands of more tents, but didn't have time for that.